All right, bit of news. Bit of news with the future of Dillian White. So, this morning I seen Ade uploaded a video saying Dillian White is back, and I was like, okay, I'll have to have a listen to this. And Ade gave his 2 cents on it, and I have to say, what he said, I tend to pretty much agree with pretty much everything he said. I had a look at the post Dillian White put up on Instagram where he basically just said, the body snatcher is back to come back, and clips of him training. Obviously, just they edited the training footage and made it in black and white. But Dillian White apparently now is on the comeback. Now, we have literally, and I mean literally, we have heard nothing from Dillian White since the middle of August, which is when he had the failed drug test come to light for the Anthony Joshua fight. We all remember it ended up being Joshua Helenius. It was meant to be Joshua Dillian White, the rematch. Dillian White, I think it was the Saturday before the fight. So I think it was, we were literally coming into fight week. It was the following Saturday they were meant to fight. Dillian White on that Saturday failed a PED test, or certainly it came to public knowledge that he failed. He may have failed it prior to the Saturday, I don't know. But certainly it was released to the public. Now, he made a statement, and it's interesting, isn't it, that the substance that, apparently triggered this failed test has never been revealed. But Dillian White did say in his statement at the time, which is the only thing he said since then, that the substance that's in question he didn't ingest, or words to that effect. I'm paraphrasing there. So we obviously knew what it was in relation to, but we've never been made privy to that. Now, August is, what month are we in now? We're in February. So yeah, it's roughly 6 months ago, right? Because 6 months from September is obviously March. So it's roughly 6 months. Ade was speculating, be careful with the word. He was speculating, as I am myself, that potentially it could have been a hush-hush 6 months off, saying nothing, and there you go. Everything's forgotten about. Yeah, I would say that, look, the British, UCAD, because just who we're talking about, they have done that, although it's been longer than 6 months, but they have done that with certain fighters in the past. If you know, that has happened in the past, and I wonder, is that the same thing with Dillian White? 6 months, though, by their standards, is short. They normally do round about a year. Sometimes they do longer than that, but it's normally around about a year. But maybe whatever Dillian White. Look, I'm only speculating. I don't know. It could be that Dillian White has maybe been approached to fight in Saudi Arabia moving forward, in some of those Saudi shows, in which case, although I do think the British Boxing Board of Control are the ones who sanction them. I don't know the ins and outs, but Dillian White, apparently, by all accounts, is looking ready to come back. He's been out of the ring for well over a year. He last fought November 2022 against Jermaine Franklin. Didn't look good in that fight. Did get the win. But Anthony Joshua fought Franklin in April of 2023. And it wasn't his most convincing performance, Anthony Joshua. But he still was the clear winner. There was no dispute. It was Joshua won that fight. But with Dillian White, a lot of people felt Franklin did enough and had his moments to get the nod. That was up in the OVO arena. Dillian White hasn't been looking the best there for a couple of years. I mean, again, perception of time is really kind of, it's going by so quick these days. It really genuinely is. Come the summertime, come August this year, it will have been 4 years. Crazy, really, when you think about it. Time is going so quick since the Povetkin loss, the Povetkin knockout in fight camp. Very quick 4 years, but still 4 years. I can't imagine he's got any better since then. In fact, I think, judging by how he looked against Fury and certainly how he looked against Franklin, he's regressed a good bit. I did think after this failed PED test, or whatever it was, an adverse finding, which is essentially one and the same, that it would be the end of Dillian White. That it wouldn't even just be the end of him in a sense of, even if he carries on boxing, he'll be good to go. I thought that he'd be gone, as in that UCAD, whoever, would just throw the book at him. Apparently that's not the case. Ade mentioned in his video that, it's very different, his approach to Conor Benn's approach. And, well, yeah, I mean, I think with Dillian White's approach, at the end of the day, you can't misquote silence. And Dillian White just kind of said, okay, this is where we are. This is where we stand. I'm going to release a statement and say no more. And if that is the case, and there has been something done behind the scenes and he's all right to go back now, I mean, that really is the way to do it. Take no Conor Benn. And with Dillian White, he hasn't been getting near as much backlash for obvious reasons. Dillian White, as I said, he just kept it silence, didn't say anything. As I said, silence can't be misquoted. With Conor Benn, it was just non-stop. criticizing this, that, and the other. I'm this and this is that, and they're all against me and this, that, and the other. And anyone who even dares say anything, you're this, you're that, that's not going to help you. I mean, the people who can exonerate you, to badmouth them and then wonder why they're making it hard for you. I mean, obviously, it just goes without saying. And I mean, no pun intended with this, but Conor Benn is not smart, but Eddie Hearn is. Eddie Hearn's very smart. And I would have imagined that Eddie Hearn, in that whole Conor Benn situation, would have reined Conor Benn in and said, shut your mouth, say nothing, we'll get this sorted. But instead, no pun intended, he egged him on. And it's like, you're just making the situation worse. So again, that was one of those situations with Conor Benn, the Eddie Hearn situation, where it was just like, why is Eddie Hearn egging him on? Because Dillian White is showing you, just keep your mouth shut, release a statement, deny it, see what happens, and obviously maybe something's gone on behind the scenes that we're not privy to, and now he's good to go. Regardless of the fact, whether you think he's a tree is known by its fruits. I mean, this isn't his first issue with adverse findings. It's not. Whether you think he's a cheat or not, at the end of the day, if he is back, he is back. I would imagine that he is, I can't envision Dillian White doing much. He was looking like a B-side fighter in that sense, like a shot fighter, against Jermaine Franklin. That's over a year ago. I can't imagine he's going to look much better now. And listen, just from a pure entertainment point of view, Saudi Arabia on a show, why don't we see Big Farmer Miller against Dillian White, the battle of the drug cheats? I'd watch it. Honestly, I would watch that fight. I would be captivated by that fight. I would. I'd watch it, no problem. Co-main, I'd be like, yep, let's do it. Eddie Hearn might be looking at Dillian White and thinking, because I'm sure Dillian White is looking at these shows in Saudi thinking, God damn it. Even if I'd lost to Joshua, I could still be getting the bag over there in Saudi. He's fought in Saudi before. He fought Marius Vac over there on the undercard of Joshua Reese too. So he's known to them. He's obviously fought over there. He's probably thinking, God damn it. Even if I lost to Joshua, the bag is there in Saudi. I'll give Joseph Parker a rematch. I'll fight Zilly. Straight away he'd be over there. So maybe he's looking at that. Maybe this is all playing into it. I don't know. Eddie Hearn's probably going to look at Dillian White and think, okay, Dillian White, Daniel Dubois, undercard of Batur BF Bivol, Matchroom Queensbury. I'm not going to lie, I'd watch it. I'd watch it. Listen, let's see if British Boxing Board, UCAD, Eddie Hearn, etc. release any statements on Dillian White. Let's see what his next move is. So that's my thoughts on Dillian White. We'll talk more about it on Midweek Report later on this evening, but for now I'll leave it there. Boxing today, it seems like there's news breaking every single day. There's fights being announced almost every day, big fights at that. Boxing's in a good place, and sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but I find it a little bit difficult at times just to stay on top of everything, between checking Twitter, checking boxing scene, going on BoxRec to see if there's anything announced. There's a lot to look for. There's a lot of platforms you need to go on. And if you look there on screen, you'll see today's sponsors, Boxing Showtimes. They've made an app that does it all for you. Look at that on screen. It shows you where you can get tickets. It gives you all the latest news. It gives you the tail of the tape. It gives you all the card details. It's going to give you details about Fury Usyk. It's going to give you details about Joshua Ngannou. It's also going to have a lot more little things thrown in there as well. The link is in the comment section. It's going to be pinned on this video and more besides soon enough. And not only that, in the comment section, there's also going to be a link, a G-Man promo, which means you can access a little bit more without ads. Now that, to quote Eddie Hearn, is a game changer. Now let's crack on with the video.